Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. I believe we are going live at this current moment, and I have a couple of different things that I want to try for today's live stream. As you can see, we have somewhat of an application that resembles the Jeopardy game board, and we have, a couple of different values for each one of the answers for our Jeopardy game today. So, just thought I'd try something a little bit different to see if you guys enjoy playing a game together. So I will send out the now tweets for the live stream. For those of you guys that want to follow me on Twitter, you guys can go ahead and do so by visiting Twitter. And I think my Twitter handle is just build that app. And that's kind of what it is. Along with the Facebook group, which I have somewhere back here, although you guys cannot see what is going on just yet. Okay, so looks like a lot of you guys are joining the live stream currently. And excuse me as I am trying to configure everything here for the live stream to work as smoothly as possible, along with getting as many of you guys in the live stream as I can currently, which is a bit of work. Right when I launch the stream, I have to post quite a bit of information on Facebook, Twitter, and perhaps maybe later on I'll have Instagram loaded up for you guys to, follow me through that social media platform as well. Anyhow, let me just type in the Facebook group of today's live stream. We are going to be playing some Jeopardy, through and answering, some good old questions. So there, paste and post. I think we should be good to go here. So, all right, Facebook group post already on the way. Not really sure if the thumbnail is the latest one that I wanted to set the thumbnail to. I don't think it's actually the correct thumbnail. YouTube's a little weird. But yeah, so how's everyone doing today? Okay, my thumbnail is loading up correctly on the Facebook group message board, discussion board. I think that's what they call it. So let me start in just a bit. We are 3 minutes in, and I am seeing currently 102 users in the current live stream. So quite a lot of people compared to a couple of months ago. I'm not really sure when I started these live streams, but I think it was about a month back, or maybe 2 months back. I know I was definitely starting it in January. And every week we have one of these live streams, hopefully with, a fun theme that you guys can enjoy for your Sunday afternoons. It's my afternoon currently. And that is where I'm kind of coming from. A lot of you guys have asked me before. I am currently living in South San Francisco, which is about half an hour away from San Francisco itself. And along with that, it is roughly 11:21 a.m. currently in the morning. And I woke up early today to build out the Jeopardy game that you currently see inside of the application simulator. It took me about a good 2 hours to build out this game here. And now that I have this little platform template set up, I can kind of just modify the code to add in as many categories and sections as I want. One thing that I'm still trying to edit for these little things is the animation and also the sizing of these categories in terms of the horizontal axis is a little tricky, seeing as how we definitely have limited space in the horizontal. And so I really want to support this in a landscape, portrait, or landscape orientation. But this is a work in progress, as you guys can tell. And, it's going to be a fun live stream today, hopefully for everyone that's out there that needs to do something for the next hour or so. Yes. So, okay, I see everyone in the live stream. Anyone that wants to donate, support the channel, and whatnot, can feel free to send over a super chat, which is the thing that you see down here. If you would like to donate $300, you can do so. Definitely do not do it if you are depending on that type of money for rent, food, housing, and clothing. And yeah, that's how the super chat works. All right, seems like we have more and more users joining the current channel. Probably they're wondering what Jeopardy we are going to play. Okay, I am now going to see what is up here. Okay, we have hello, Manil, Peter Spitzer. All right, we have Peter Spitzer. Even though I got 2 parking fine this week totaling £60, I still want to support your channel. Thank you for your help. Well, thank you, Peter, and sorry for the parking violations and parking fines. I know in my experience, those are one of the worst types of tickets to receive, especially when you're like going somewhere to do like a job and you come out, you see this ticket on your windshield. One of the most frustrating things to deal with, in my opinion. So hello from LA. I think we have someone from Russia. This is an A, I suppose. Yeah, can't really read the Russian language, but hello from Cow Pasture. Cows need coding too. Yeah, so where is everyone coming from today? Again, California, San Francisco on my side. I know I have quite the international audience on this channel. I don't really know why that is. I guess, YouTube in general is a international platform which allows for many of you guys to join the channel and watch whatever content you guys think is good. All right, we have another donation from Mark Alpont. So Mark, I've been seeing you quite a bit in the channel, the video, the comments section, and also the website. And I think maybe perhaps a couple of emails you've sent me. So really good to have Mark be such an avid fan, a passionate fan of the channel. And I really hope you're learning as much as you can through the videos that I'm uploading to the channel. I guess that's a better term. So thank you for your attention to detail and awesome teaching style. This channel is more than amazing and has taught me loads of info. Keep on coding. Yes. So the tagline for the channel is to just keep on coding. So the thing about coding is that as you code more and more, your fingers actually become more and more used to typing the code onto the screen. And it's my understanding that as you are typing the code out, it sort of starts to become like an extension of yourself. And the code, you sort of fuse and meld together. And after a certain point, the code becomes part of you. And then you become a much better programmer. That's my understanding of how all of this stuff really works. So we got Colombo, we have Polytech, Alex, and then we have teach something about expand and collapse method in dynamic UI table view cell. I think I have a video on that on the channel already. Maybe. What's poppin'? Not much. Just trying to entertain people. So JetBrains website, yes, they have a thing called app code, which you can try out. Let me see here. Bring this up here. Hello from Romania. We have a lot of people trying to join the Facebook group, and as I can kind of see back here, if I want to move this, let's move this down here just a little bit. We have a lot of people trying to join the Facebook group. So am I going to show you guys everything that's happening in my Facebook account? Perhaps. As you guys can see, there's quite a bit of notifications for the Facebook group. So let me start the Jeopardy game in just one moment here. Why don't I just start off the very, very first answer, I think they call this, in Jeopardy. So we have the Jeopardy board. I really think a lot of you guys are familiar with how Jeopardy works, right? Basically, you have a bunch of categories on a board, and each one of these categories have individual answers to them that have an attached dollar amount. And the dollar amount, you can think of it as points. So if you answer the $200 point answer correctly, you get $200. And I think eventually whoever that wins the entire game gets to take that money home. I think that's how Jeopardy works. So I don't see this game as like, I don't think you actually win a whole lot of money. Anyhow, kind of a sidetrack there. So first question of the day. Let me see if I can get one of you guys to post a question. So who wants to pick an item off the board right now? We have interviews and we have design patterns. So somebody type in the chat right now and I will try to pick the category and dollar amount. So there's a bit of a delay with the chat here. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. We have design patterns. We have interviews for 200, 200 for design. I feel like an auctioneer right now. Interview for 800, interview for 1,000. Do we have anything over interview for 1,000? Okay, let's start off with design patterns for 400. And so eventually, I had this idea of creating this Jeopardy game, and I want to also release this so that you guys can play along, and then somehow I'll keep track of the scores and also who's going to win. And this is going to be pretty exciting. It's like a new era for live streaming and playing games together, which is pretty interesting, I think. So we have interviews for 400. So I'm going to click on, so as you guys can see, I can drag this guy up and down, right? This is just a simple UI collection view. And interviews for 400. Whoa, that's not a good way to print out the last word. But the answer is design patterns. And this design pattern is to kind of separate components in terms of their responsibility. So typically when you're kind of building out iOS apps or just applications in general, whether it's Java, PHP, C#, you have to make sure your components are separated so that they can take care of what they need to take care of, also known as the responsibility, and then just leave it at that. Anything outside of their responsibility should be left to a more over-encompassing class to handle. So that's the kind of logic there. So we have a couple of answers. We have delegate, we have anti-patterns, and we have MVC. So remember, in Jeopardy, you have to answer the question, or you have to the response you have to give has to be in the form of a question. That is how Alex Trebek conducts the show. So we have model view controller, we have MVC. What is model view controller? Ding, 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 ding. Model view controller is the most prevalent design pattern that you can find on iOS, in iOS development. And MVC is a really easy pattern to adopt and learn. Some would argue that it's not the best design pattern. There are other more advanced design patterns that we will get into as we browse the category. So there is currently no way to keep track of the score, obviously, and I haven't really been able to mark these things as seen before or answered before. So I'm going to remember, hopefully, which questions or answers we've clicked on. All right. So I guess whoever got the answer correct for that one gets to choose the next question here. So design patterns for 600. Let's just move down the board here for 600. All right. So design pattern that responds to streams of data change. And, think about this for a quick moment and try to think about which one of the new design patterns allow you to kind of monitor things in your UI that change. So if you have a login form, you can change the username text field, the email text field, the password text field, the user profile image or the avatar. And this is a I think there are a couple of answers to this question, or a couple of different patterns that you can use to respond to changes in your model objects. So I see a couple of different answers here. And we have what is delegate, we have what is RX Swift, what is KVO, which is key value observer, one of those words, NVVM, which is model view model. And then we have what is command. So I'll let you guys think about this for a moment here. And let me dive into the Facebook thing back there. So we have quite a few people joining the Facebook group, and I am going to let me see, approve some of you guys, I suppose. So we have Calvin Smith, Juan, Pablo, Mike Belansky, Gustavo. Yeah, I'll get to the Facebook group requests in just a bit. So the design pattern that responds to streams of data change, I would kind of call it reactive Cocoa, reactive, I guess just in general. And the idea behind React is that you respond and react to model changes on your objects so that you don't have to constantly perform these if checks every time your data changes, and then you don't have to perform all of the boilerplate code that handles updating the UI. If you use the React framework, Reactive Cocoa framework, React Swift, RX Swift, making changes to your UI depending on what your models are is super easy. So why don't more people use React is, a good question. There's a lot of, I guess, baggage, maybe. Yeah, baggage that comes with using such a heavy framework. So I think it's a good way to accomplish the UI separation. And I find it really, really interesting to have that type of pattern. And that is this question here: design patterns for 600. So there we go. All right, let me just monitor what's going on in the Twitterverse right now. We have this, and then we have that. So like I said, anyone that wants to follow the Twitter account, we have this message here: today's live stream, 2,108 followers. And then currently, I don't know how many users are following the YouTube channel, but quite a lot. So React Native is kind of, React style. If you can pick up React Native, you can certainly pick up Reactive Cocoa. Okay. So lately I've been getting a lot of students that have contacted me regarding interviews, and I guess It might be interview season and job season and career switch season as well. So I just got a purchase from Ali, Janayat Ali, for the Kindle course that we have back here. So let's see. There's this course that you guys can look at if you guys are interested in learning how to build out the Instagram app. So I would want to, let's see, click on interviews for 200, let's say. All right, so you want to update it with new skills and projects weekly. You want to update this thing so that it is up to date, I guess. And so what is it that you want to update in terms of interviews? And how many of you guys actually update this particular thing? I mean, I find that I have to update a couple of different things every time I'm going into the interview process. And that's, maybe a problem, maybe a good thing. And actually, a lot of you guys are entering things that do make more sense than just the plain old CV resume that I have as the answers to this one. So how often do you guys update your resumes and Twitter accounts, GitHub accounts, and your, I guess, portfolios? Because I know that because we're constantly making new projects, building new things, learning new languages, technologies. It seems like updating your portfolio is quite the chore every now and then. I know I haven't updated my resume in like maybe half a year, and that's probably because I haven't applied for a new job in quite a while. So that's me. I tend to update my resume probably like every time I apply for a new job. And LinkedIn profile, you can update that as well. So it's, I guess, a whole host of things that you can update. Yeah, so we have CV provides a summary of one's experience. Typical CVs are longer than resumes, at least 2 or 3 pages. Yeah. So in the US, we mostly focus on resumes, which typically is just 1 page. So that is something good to do every now and then. And I also suggest that maybe some of you guys can try getting a professional to look over your resume. Sometimes resumes are like really just everywhere. So it's good to have someone professional look at it. I've seen really bad looking resumes from quite a few computer scientists. Yes. So let's see. So super chat. Let me just get rid of this thing. It's taking quite a bit of space. Okay. So interview for 1,000. I've already forgotten what I put in here. So technology stack. Yeah, I guess these answers are quite generic in general. So think about in terms of interviews, what what can you say about technology stack in an interview? And for some of you guys that are newer to programming, technology stack refers to which technology you use to build out all of the entire stack that supports your software, whether it's a website or just some kind of program. And typically it contains the backend, which is the layer that communicates with the database. And then you also have your database. And then you have your perhaps middle layer that, I guess the middle layer communicates with the database. And then you have your front end. And then the front end can be the browser, the iPhone app, or the Android app, and whatever that, can interface with the backend. So, yeah, Google does encourage you to just have a 1-page resume. Even if you have years and years of experience, research, and whatnot, they still recommend just one page for your resume. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's because they get so many applications that they just can't look at the second page. It just doesn't make sense in terms of the time that they have. Okay, so in terms of interviews, the technology stack is something that's very important if you're applying for a particular job. So I would say the answer to this is like, what is the company's technology stack, or what type of technology is the company working on? So like if you work at Facebook, right? I guess their backend used to be on maybe PHP. Now it's Python or something like that. And if you can do some research on the technology stack for that particular company, you want to make sure you kind of have a good fit for them and they can kind of see value in what you have to bring to the table. So make sure you understand what the technology stack is. Obviously, if the company is just making websites, you don't want to apply for that job if you are just an iOS programmer. And yeah, that's what technology stacks are. And it's good to know about technology stacks because you definitely want to, be aware of how things operate. And there's so many different technology stacks out there. The most common one is the LAMP stack, which is, what is LAMP again? Apache, MySQL, PHP, and can't remember what the L stands for. Linux? Yeah, Linux. So here we go. Back onto the board. So who's winning here? Who's winning the game? Yeah. So let's see here. And then we have so this Instagram app in the back kind of looks like this guy. So a nice application. One of the cool things about this is that you can use the camera, which is not even all that hard to build. And then we have the search. All these guys, me obviously. Click in here, we get the foodie person. And because the live stream is eating up quite a few resources, it is not allowing me to browse whatever's in there. Is it? Yeah. So let's see, add photo. Are you guys interested in my Taiwan trip? So here's the movie theater in Taiwan. And also here is this place called Mount Taroko. Quite a nice mountain to hike. And, quite a travel to get there, actually. Let's see. It's a nice image. Yeah. Asian food. Really, really, really good. All right. Back to the board here. We have design patterns for 1,000. Here is the answer. Who can get the question? So no separation, just one huge function. And this is typically referred to as something. There's a common name for this, I guess. And just think about when you have an application that is built on one big function, and that function is probably like 1,000 lines of code, and there are no methods. There's just one huge function. So we have one question here. What is massive view controller? What is monolithic? And what is something else? Spam. Okay. All right. What is singleton? That's kind of a good answer. And we have what is procedural. So singleton, that's an interesting answer. Singletons are actually not all that bad. If you look at the Swift code base, Objective-C code base that Apple wrote, that you can actually access UI application.shared, and that's a singleton. Apple uses singletons. It's not all that bad. All right, so I see a couple of answers that fit the bill for no separation of code, just one large, huge monster of a function. So we have what is spaghetti code, what is not clean code. I kind of like that answer. We have singleton is an anti-pattern though, right? Well, Apple uses singletons, and it's not exactly an anti-pattern, but it can become difficult to debug, especially when it comes to testing. Singletons are really hard to handle in that scenario. Yes, 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 yes. So we have a couple of good answers here. We have one from John Roberts. What is procedural? Which is kind of what I was thinking about when I wrote out this question. We have what is spaghetti code? We have what is not clean code. I kind of like that. What is a chunk of code? That's kind of funny. And then we have, what is spaghetti code and what is a God class? Right. So a couple of good answers here. A God class is, I guess, a pretty good answer to this one. I was more looking for spaghetti code as the more generic term. And then we have procedural as well. So whenever we are first writing our programs, we have int main void, and then we have this gigantic function that's just the main function. And we learned this through procedural programming, which doesn't exactly make it easy to read the code. So, procedural programming kind of makes it really, really ugly. Spaghetti code is really, really difficult to read. All right. So good stuff, guys. Looks like you guys really know your stuff. All right, we have this Dali Yu. We have 怎么在非 Mac 上开发 iOS？ 你如果不在 Mac 的话呢，你是无法开发 iOS 的。我跟你讲，所以你就干脆放弃吧。A lot of YouTubers get hacked. Hacking goes around. You have to have a lot of precautions to kind of prevent hacking. So, okay, next on the board, let's get design patterns for 800. What is this? Advanced separation using kind of intermediate objects inside of your program. This is a little difficult. And, to be honest, I've never really used this pattern so much. And this is kind of my general understanding of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for anyone that's sending me a Facebook friend request, I don't accept Facebook friend requests for a couple of reasons. The main one is because I don't use Facebook all that much anymore for anything really. I like to keep the group live though. The Facebook build that app group is what I kind of use it for. So facade pattern, that is okay. I haven't really used the facade pattern myself. And we got a bridge pattern. I don't really know what a bridge pattern is. Let's see, what else do we have? I guess a facade pattern. So the answer that I'm looking for is something called kind of the MVVM pattern. And typically how the MVVM pattern works is that you have this thing in the middle that kind of communicates with the model and the view, and then you kind of aggregate the data together and you pass it on to the view, and the view kind of knows how to render itself. It's something that I haven't really used before, so maybe I am misunderstanding it a little bit, but that's my general understanding of the MVVM pattern. And a lot of you guys have asked about what MVVM is. So I would like to create a video on this, perhaps in the future, the near future. Okay, so let's see interviews for 800 here. Okay, company CEO. Wow, these are really vague answers here. So in terms of going into an interview, what is it about the company CEO that you should know, I guess? Which is always something that you kind of have to know. Like every time you go into an interview, right, you need to know who. You need to know who the CEO is. So we have Tim Cook, we have Chief Executive Officer, who they are. Liberal or conservative Chief Executive. Is he a programmer or a lawyer? I like that. Step 1 is name. That's also a very good one. Vision. You know what the CEO's vision is. Who they voted for. What is his mission statement? That's a good one. Know the org chart. So the organization's entire chart in terms of the hierarchy. I guess this is bossy. Whether or not the CEO is bossy, or whether he likes to breathe down your neck every couple of days for feature implementations. Who's going to pay you? Who's the man around here? Entrepreneur style. Why am I here? I don't know why you're here. John Cena. Who's your boss? CEO style. Company, entertainment, organization. What other companies have they run successfully? And so, wow, a lot of really good answers here. A lot of really good answers. So let me pick the best one out of the bunch here. What kind of present the CEO likes? Hey, that's not so bad either. If you want to suck up to the CEO, I think that'll earn you a lot of good benefits. Now, in my opinion, so I got to ask what you do if you are CEO of the company first thing. Yeah, that's a pretty good interview question as well. So my kind of not understanding, but I like to also know what the vision of the CEO is. And when you're interviewing for a company, if the CEO is like some kind of 20-year-old kid that just graduated college or perhaps dropped out of college and has a lot of money from a lot of investors for their company, they certainly have a different kind of lifestyle and also work ethic and vision for the company. Maybe they are really, really smart business owners and good programmers, and they have like their stuff in order. Sometimes you'll find that the CEO's vision doesn't exactly match with yours and whatever you want to accomplish in terms of your career. So it's good to, kind of realize these things as you're going into the company for the interview. And also who is kind of managing the company. It helps to just understand where the company is coming from, especially the origin stories of a company. I think is very important. Something you need to know is that the CEO not see the world as you do. Yeah, CEOs in general have a different perception of how the world runs, and they have a really kind of a business mindset that's a lot different compared to a regular employee's mindset. So we have Super Tech TV. Can you implement Instagram live video in your Instagram app? Tell us how to do it in Swift, please. So I might consider, live video is definitely really, really difficult to support inside of an application. And it's an upcoming technology. I think Realm has a good bit of support for it. So, we'll see if I can put something together. This live streaming session is going very interactive. Yeah. So I think playing a game like this is pretty fun. What I really want to do in the future is to have some kind of point tracking system. I want to launch this app so that you guys can play on your phones as well. It's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be pretty fun. Am I going to implement hashing function in Instagram app? What specifically about a hashing function do you think you would need for the Instagram app? Or a hashtag function. Okay, hashtag function is a totally different thing. I want to go into more details about the features of the Instagram app. So things like hashtagging, I really want to implement that, but currently it is already about 40 episodes long, just in terms of the coding that we have to do to support a lot of really, really good functionality. So this means that some features might not make it into the final tutorial. And a lot of you guys are, I think a lot of you guys have seen the tutorial so far. We have the login and the registration lessons up already, up to episode 10 right there. And also we have the kind of custom tab bar and skinning, which allows you to get this type of design look for the application, right? And then we have 3 more additional episodes for selecting the photos so that you can kind of request for images that are on your device. So that's how everything works. Like when you hit this add photo button, right? All of these photos on here come directly from the device. In the finished version of this application, this is actually implementing infinite scrolling. So as you can see in the beginning, we only request for, I think, 20 images. And then as you scroll down, it loads additional images. And that's kind of how infinite scrolling works. If I had more photos in my simulator, this would just continuously request for more images as you scroll down. And the reason why you do that is because the initial fetch takes quite a while. And if you reduce it to 20 images, it's a lot faster just in terms of performance. Okay. And yes, Firebase. So the question is, for the Jeopardy app, will Firebase be involved? Definitely, I believe Firebase will be part of the solution for the backend. And the reason why Firebase is going to be used is obviously because the point tracking system, the questions, and how everything responds needs to be in real time. And yeah, I want to keep track of all that to, perhaps make sure who wins and who loses. And perhaps we'll have a giveaway at the end of the Jeopardy game for whoever wins the game can pick maybe like a course that they want to learn from, and maybe we'll do a giveaway there. Okay, so is it difficult to implement the filters for changing the images like in Instagram? I do have the code for the filter aspect of the Instagram app, but I don't exactly know if I will include the filtering in the Instagram course itself. I guess the reason is because the code is pretty simple. I'm looking to include the filtering, but we'll see if we get to it. All right. Okay, so let's see. I guess we'll go back to the Jeopardy board here. What haven't we clicked on? All right, so relaxed, comfortable dress shirt with jeans. Relaxed, comfortable dress shirt with jeans. considering all of the interviews that you guys have probably gone on, what do you think this pertains to? Okay, I'll let you guys think about that for a little bit as I check here. We have, wow, quite a few requests. So let's see, let me just bring this up here. Okay. So all of you guys in the Facebook group, let's see here. Faketa Bella, let's approve you. I believe you purchased the Instagram course, if I remember correctly. So we have iOS developer from Portugal. We have Leandro Paiva, Jesus Adolfo, going to approve of you. Leandro, Mark Holick. All right, so let's see a couple of the answers here. What should I wear to an interview? What is not the way to go to an interview? What to wear to an interview at a startup? How do developers dress? Team out for lunch. What should CEO wear? And confidence. What should a homeless person wear? What should a homeless person wear? Well, I guess we can't really judge their attire due to their financial circumstances. What should an unemployed person wear? Is dress code a deal breaker for me? A dress code is something that you would hope that every time you go into work, right? You go into the office, you have to wake up, you have to dress a certain way. It's much easier to code when you're in like a hoodie, a t-shirt, and perhaps jeans or shorts, and wearing comfortable shoes. Just imagine if you were wearing a suit, a really tight fitting dress shirt, and then some slack pants, and also some really nice looking leather dress shoes. Trying to code in that attire might be okay for some of you guys, but I think for just the majority of programmers, it's like really, really uncomfortable. I find that the more uncomfortable I am, the less I think about coding, or the less productive I am in terms of getting code out and building features. So I think when you're going through the interview process, you should do some research and get some mental image of what the company looks like on their profile pages. See what kind of dress code they have at their office. If they are all wearing like polo shirts, maybe you can come in a polo shirt as well. If they're all wearing dress shirts, then make sure you dress up instead of dressing down. And then a lot of times you will find yourself dressing, I guess it's safer to dress up rather than to dress down. I've seen a lot of people come in to the interview rooms dressed up in suits, and typically it's like a fresh college grad or someone with just 2 to 3 years of experience. They feel like they want to come in a suit, which is fine, but it is a little strange to go into the computer programming interview in a suit. If you can think better in a suit, I would recommend doing that. I definitely would not like to stand up in front of the whiteboard and code in a dress suit. I find that to be pretty difficult. Okay, so let's see. First impression is the lasting impression. Yes. So I every time I go on an interview, I have I have nice looking, well, not nice looking, but dark jeans and a dress shirt, and it's professional looking enough that you kind of give yourself a good first impression, and it's not over the top where you're in a full tuxedo. you're not really going to a company ball. But however, if you are going to a company event, you want to dress up for the occasion. Okay, so stay low profile until you settle into the company culture. Yeah, that's another good tip. Yeah. Let's see, we have the Zandy. I was inspired by your bar chart video to build one of my own with a screencasting tutorial working on including dynamic axis. Yeah, dynamic axes for a chart is probably the more difficult aspects of building a chart. Wear a dress that is comfortable that you can code in is better way. Yeah, I recommend dressing comfortable enough and also presentable enough so that you can pass the coding interview and the interview challenge. And the more you go into the interviews, the more comfortable you will be regardless. So that's kind of it. That's the message that I want to send out to you guys. Let's see. Sandals and flip-flops. I guess this is sort of in the same vein as the last answer. I do my best coding on the toilet. We do a lot of good things on the toilet, and more these days we spend increasing amount of time sitting on the toilet due to these guys right here. Oh, you guys can see my message. Yeah. So, all right. We are currently 51 minutes into the live stream. I'm hoping to not go over an hour, but I think we can squeeze in a couple more minutes here. So yeah, a lot of you guys are probably see, I'm not a programmer, a coder. I just write and run them. So how to code on the beach. That's pretty good answer. How to code at the beach. Took me 10 years to become a good programmer. 10 years to become a good programmer. I kind of agree to that statement right there. I find that programming takes a lot of time. The first 5 years of programming for me, I was not good at all. And it was the later, like maybe the last 3 years where I finally felt like I understood programming enough to the point where, problems that I had to tackle weren't really that difficult anymore. Okay. So yeah, sandals and flip-flops. You'll be surprised how many interview candidates come to the on-site interview in flip-flops and sandals, which is bizarre and confusing. Maybe it's a San Francisco thing, but I've seen quite a few young candidates and also a couple of older candidates coming in with sandals and flip-flops. I think it just leaves a bad impression. If the company is really, really relaxed, then yeah, you can do it. And if you're coffee shop coding, or if you're on the beach coding or working from home, you can obviously wear whatever the heck you want. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We have one more here. Company CEO. What is this? Technology stack. This. And I think we've done that. I think we are all done here. All right. I think we've done this already. Oh yeah, what is this? Design patterns for 200. When you model data into classes, what is that process called? And this is something that you guys all know how to do. Something that you guys have been doing for years and years and years if you have seen programming before. And it's the key word here is to model things into classes, especially data. Right? And this is a certain style of programming that we all know and love. Okay. All right. Okay, we have MVC, even more basic than MVC. So MVC is kind of an abstraction on top of this concept here. And we have quite a few good answers. We have what is MVC, which is not exactly correct, which is a good answer, but I wouldn't I would go into an even lower level. What is OOP, object-oriented programming? Do you think that is the right answer? Separate the data from user interface. What is encapsulation? So encapsulation is I guess a part of OOP. What is objects or object-oriented programming? What is data structure? So I feel like object-oriented programming fits this question much more than any other answer. So object-oriented programming is the idea of modeling real-world objects into classes for your application. And the reason why you do this is so that when you come back to your code in like 2 weeks, you can actually see the code and return to the thought process like a regular human being. When you don't have object-oriented programming, it's really difficult to hand off your feature, your function, your application to someone else and have them understand it because you don't have that context. Object-oriented programming provides and allows for human context that makes the program easy to understand. So, object-oriented programming, very powerful concept. And because it's been used so much and so frequently that it's so prevalent just everywhere, concepts such as MVC, POP, MVVM, React, all these concepts have grown out of object-oriented programming. And then you have those design patterns books, how to apply certain abstractions to, factory patterns, singletons, and all this stuff that I guess, OOP is the grandfather of all this. Right? Wow. So that is Jeopardy for today. I feel like Alex Trebek certainly has, his work cut out for him trying to host one of these things. I think we're done. Just trying to check. Yep. I think we are done for today. Wow. Yeah. Certainly a very, very interactive live stream for today. I hope you guys got something out of today's live stream Jeopardy game. Just trying to try out something new so that some of you guys can be entertained. I think live streaming is all about entertainment. And I know some of you guys have said that the live streams are super, super long. And Final Jeopardy, good question by John Martin. Final Jeopardy. So who won? All right. So let's see. Stick on iOS programming. This would be great because you could show us some more apps, please, like flight and hotel search apps working with different APIs. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how much time I have to do the research, build out the apps. And building out apps, as you guys can understand and tell already, takes quite a bit of time. Every time I build out one of these freaking apps, it probably takes like a week of time. So just a whole week of time, full time, just cranking out an application, getting all the basic features out, making sure I have a back end to support everything, and then sitting down and recording every lesson, every episode that I upload to the YouTube channel takes about 3 to 4 hours total. And that's the process of not writing down a script, because I never write out a script for these lessons, kind of just do it on the fly. So that scripting is something that I avoid just to save on the time. And then what do we have here? We have the process of actually figuring out what the heck you want to say in front of the camera while you are coding is, it's not a huge challenge for me, but it definitely does take a lot of concentration. And some days I'm better at it than other days. So recording a video might take, on a good day, 2 hours to complete from beginning to end. Usually it's about 3 hours. And then, uploading the video, putting it on what is it? YouTube, and then we have creating the thumbnail, writing the description, pasting or putting up the video on all of the social media platforms, and making sure everything is good. Definitely setting a high bar for the videos that you see on the channel. And sometimes I record things a couple of times to make sure the content is good. All right, so we have Farouk, Bass. Hi, Brian. Thanks a lot for all of your courses. You're a very great teacher and an altruistic person. Wish you all the best. Hope to meet you one day. Thank you, Farouk, so much for the support. Being altruistic is, it's definitely a good thing. Just trying to help people and help the world, really. I think through this channel, I can help just so many people out there that want access to this type of knowledge. And YouTube is free. Unfortunately, some countries have a ban on YouTube, which makes it difficult for them to access good information, such as the tutorials. But everyone out there that can, has a Mac, has an iPhone, can learn directly through the channel. And as we have more, different minds, and VPN can actually get through the firewall. I really want to have everyone in the world building out apps, and the sooner we have the advancement of technology spread across every country, we can make for a much more interesting world. I mean, just remember like the past 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago, we didn't have the internet, and how much the world has evolved with the invention and the introduction of just a worldwide web affecting everyone at the same time. Just amazing how technology has transformed how I kind of work, making this YouTube channel, communicating with everyone at the same time, all 100 of you guys, 150 of you guys. And all of this is not possible without technology. Once we have more coders, more programmers, more iOS developers, Android developers, web backend developers, the change is going to be magnified throughout the generation of students, developers, me, you, coders. So very interesting what you can do with just the YouTube channel nowadays. So thank you, Farouk. And hopefully I'll meet you someday too. All right, so maybe I'll get to some questions here. All right, we're at 1 hour and 2 minutes for the current stream. Let's see. So we have Harry Tennant. Am I considering making a copy of Airbnb? Probably not. Airbnb is actually built on React Native, which is really interesting. They went full React Native, I think, half a year ago, maybe, or a year ago. And then we have, how about an app that saves persistent objects? I think the Facebook Messenger chat app that's already on the YouTube channel saves all your messages inside of core data. So you can look at or watch those videos for the educational aspect of that tutorial. Right. So again, folks that are sending me Facebook friend requests, I don't do Facebook friend requests, not even to friends. So I started on Swift only a few weeks ago, and I learned a lot from your tutorials. Thank you very much. Well, Ray Tori, I certainly hope that you continue to learn more and more throughout the channel. Okay, so we have David Sanford with a $2 donation and support for the channel. Thank you, David. Very excited about MVVM app. I am going to do some more research on MVVM and then present a very convincing app, or an app that has enough context that will convince you to use MVVM. So John Officer asks, what is the best book or research or resource I should go to build out an app? The best resource is really what you have accessible. It's hard to say, buy this book and you'll be a good programmer. Whatever you can find on the internet that inspires you the most is going to be your best resource. And that's, perhaps this YouTube channel will give you inspiration. I think it's worked out so far for so many students on the channel. And that's kind of my approach to all these tutorials. I really don't like explaining things like what is an optional, what is a double, what is a struct, what is a class, what is a UI table view, what is a UI collection view, what are buttons, what are layout constraints, what are, just very, very strange computer terms. And when you talk in strange computer terms, especially those terms I just mentioned, you tend to bore a lot of people that don't understand what those terms are. And the tutorial style on this channel is that we're just going to build things. It's as simple as that. You can give someone a hammer, give someone a nail, they will be able to start nailing things together. You give someone a couple of lines of code, explain to them what it does, they're going to be able to build something out of it. And that's how knowledge is obtained. Not studying some kind of lecture about what MVC is, what MVVM is. You actually have to look and see how these tools are used. And that's kind of what I learned over the past, 5-10 years about programming on the job. Nothing that I really learned in school has helped me as much as just building out things and working on projects. Yep. Lottie, used by Adobe After Effects for animation. Definitely an interesting library that they have written. Can you give us contact for us to reach you? Probably not. Currently, the channel has 41,000 subscribers. It'd be very, very difficult to answer everyone's question regarding, what kind of help they need. I would like to just answer everybody's question, but not the easiest thing to do. Yep. All right. Yep. So Soliman Amari, so Soliman, you are exactly right. The applications that the login screen for the login screen for the Instagram app, there are certain aspects of it that don't work well on the iPhone 5. And in my experience, what I've had to do is to adjust some of the sizing of the components inside of the screen itself. And then, through some math, you can kind of figure out what the sizing needs to be. And, because we're doing programmatically the code and the UI building, you can detect for some sizing of the view and then adjust the sizes accordingly. And it's a process that takes a little bit of time to learn. And on a real job, you'll get a lot of designs from the design team that you have to implement, and they'll give you a lot of different device sizes that you have to support. It's probably one of the more time-consuming aspects of building out a really, really good-looking app. Last company, we built out the iPhone app and then the iPad app. So supporting both platforms definitely takes a lot of time. That's why we kind of prioritize the iPad second after we nailed all of the features down for the iPhone. Release that first and then support the iPad. And you also have to look at the segmentation of your market share. For example, Google Analytics will tell you how many iPhone users you are using or you have on your website. And then if most of them have iPhone 6s, I think you should optimize for iPhone 6. If a lot of them are still on iPhone 5, however, you have to make sure iPhone 5 screens are also supported. So yes, a lot of different things that you can do to support sizes. All right, a long tangent there. Yeah. So Farouk Bass, we are also improving our English listening to you, English and iOS teacher. That's kind of a funny thing that I've noticed about a lot of the students on the channel that ask me about, or they don't ask, but they comment on how the audio is crisp enough that they can pick up the English. There's also the caption for the videos that support captioning subtitles that you can turn on. And I've turned it on a couple of times. The caption is probably like 98% accurate. Most of what I'm saying is being picked up by the transcriber, and the words that are in the subtitles is pretty good. It's pretty accurate. So along with iOS, I hope English is something that you guys can pick up while watching the videos. And I'm trying my best to provide the best type of audio using this little microphone guy. And I do a lot of audio adjusting to make it sound as good as possible. Still trying to figure out how to reduce, some hissing, some mouth breathing, and some clicking of the mouth. But, it's not perfect, but that's how it is. So Soliman, thanks. Is it possible to ask which device it is and then lay out the views with if-else statement? Is this a good approach? I would, that is an approach that you can take. Yeah, that is certainly an approach that you can take. And again, adjusting the sizing of your elements based on the device is quite tricky. It's not very fun either, but as soon as you get used to how it works, you will be able to solve that problem later on. Okay, so last couple of questions here. Am I planning to create a channel like Discord, Slack in the future? Maybe. The reason why I don't have one of those yet is because so obviously time is a constraint that we all have. Any type of chatting platform that takes my attention away from my task at hand is something that I try to avoid automatically. One really easy way to start procrastinating is getting into responding to comments, responding to chats, just having an easy way out of doing what you want to do. And chatting. So for example, on my phone here, I have pretty much deleted most of the chatting platforms, the chatting apps, the Facebook stuff. I just have not. I don't want to deal with all that while I'm working, so I've just deleted everything. Yeah. So would notifications be implemented in the Instagram series? So I want to look into notifications as soon as I can. I feel like there is a way to implement notifications. So I want to get that into the course. I cannot make any promises right now on notifications. I will make it one of the priorities for the course. Right. And again, there's already like 40 lessons or 40 episodes for the course, all of them ranging from 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So quite a bit of content. I know a lot of you guys are, you guys want more, obviously. So at the same time, I don't want to make the course like bloated with just too much content. Sometimes when you see this course that's like 50 hours long, it's like really difficult to break into it, right? And yeah, so a lot of you guys have purchased that Instagram course already. So what's my driving force and driving motive right now is to make 1 or 2 episodes, record them every day, and then upload it to the video service. And yes, so because so many of you guys have purchased the Instagram course, I am doing my best to make or to come through, to follow through on my promise of providing these lessons as soon as possible. And so I guess what can I show you guys here? Let's see if I want to actually show this. So let's see. So I have some stats perhaps I can show you about the the Vimeo stats. So obviously Vimeo is the service where I host all the videos, and just looking through all of the plays, right? We have 155 plays of the first video that talks about how to set up the layout for our Instagram application registration layout. And we have 56% watched. And for those of you guys that aren't familiar with watch time, and I guess engagement is what we call this, 56% average watch time is quite high. It's like extremely high in terms of engagement. So 56% of this video is probably about 12 minutes. And so the average watch time on my YouTube channel is about 5 minutes. So this is more than double, which means that a lot of you guys are watching a lot of the video, which is good. And then we scroll down, you can see everyone that's watched the Kindle Basic Training course, and these are all the episodes that is released for that course. And there's some other additional things I want to introduce for that Kindle Basic Training course that will make it even better, right? It's already really good, but it gets better with more content. So scrolling down, as I'm putting these videos on, you guys are a lot of you guys are like probably refreshing the website to see when the next video is up. So I apologize for all of the students that are just eager to learn, but you guys aren't receiving a notification for the videos. So yeah. Oh, you guys can't see the watch time. So that's the watch time. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, those are kind of the stats there. I don't try to hide any of this information from you guys. It is what it is. Yeah, just again, thank you everyone that's been learning or purchased the course. It really shows that definitely you guys are helping out here. So one final question, I guess. So Farouk asks, why don't you launch your own successful app just like Snapchat, WhatsApp, or Instagram? You have knowledge, you could be the next Zuckerberg or even Spiegel. So, maybe, perhaps, if I wanted to do that, it would take like 5 to 10 years to launch a successful app. I would like to use this channel to do something more, I guess, make a bigger impact on the world. And the impact that I want to have is quite, the goals are lofty. Let's just put it that way. So, yes, Ekram, well, thank you for the courses. Well, you're welcome. As long as you guys stay to watch. Yeah, as long as you guys, support by watching the videos, purchase the courses and whatnot, it's the driving force that I have to keep on producing what I have on the channel. Lately, there there's been quite a few new members to the channel, and we are hitting 41,000 very soon. We're probably already at 41,000 the next time I check the stats for how many subscribers I have. And 41,000 is quite a few people for an iOS channel. Especially an iOS channel that is dedicated to more advanced iOS topics, right? And it's a good sign. It's a good direction. It is nice. It's definitely encouraging that everyone that wants to learn iOS can access all of this good content. And the more, people get the word out that this channel is here, the more of a community that we have. So it's kind of unbelievable that we have such a great community here. Everyone here, for the most part, has been so supportive and really respectful towards everyone else in the video comments. And there's not a lot of spammers. There aren't a lot of trolls, which is good. Yeah. So yes, Pavlos, well, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, if you guys want to purchase the course, you can find the link down below. Go on the website, letsbuildthatApp.com. And this is just course/Instagram Firebase. Yes, yes. So again, the course, the channel here offers a lot of more advanced techniques. And it's surprising that so many people are interested in the more advanced side of things. Yes. So currently I guess we are at 40,834 subscribers. I believe we are closer to 41,000 than that the last time I checked. All right, so final question. Should I start to learn iOS screen programmatically from the beginning if it is more difficult, or is it better to understand storyboards first and then do it by code? So this is really up to you. Again, programmatically building out things is easy enough in my personal opinion. Yes. So we have Roger. Hey, Roger. Roger from the Bay, I think. Instagram Firebase, your latest coding style in UI Kit instead of IBNS Coder. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So I'm on your site right now trying to find how I can purchase the full course. So hopefully you're using the Chrome browser. And if you are on the website here, you should see this big green purchase button. I'm not the best designer for websites, but that's the most obvious way I can present the purchase button. And then if you click onto one of these lessons here, I don't know if this is going to allow me, but in there there's a purchase button as well. So yeah. All right. Seeing as how it is 12:40 and time for lunch for me, I am going to head out and enjoy the rest of my day. You guys should can help with the website if you like. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll end it here. I don't want to go on another tangent there. So thank you everyone for joining. I am going to grab some food. I have something on the stove right now. And today has been an interesting experiment with the Jeopardy game. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the topics that we discussed today. I'm going to improve the Jeopardy app, and perhaps I'll maybe even build a tutorial on how to get this Jeopardy thing going. And we'll see. Anyhow, good afternoon, good evening, and hope you guys have a nice day. Bye bye, guys. Keep on coding.